Hi guys! You guys ready to read with me again? We're gonna read outside today. It'll be super fun. So if you were with me in our little group chats last week on the computer, we read a fairy tale called The Three Little Pigs. And I want us to think and try to remember, we talked about the characters, and we talked about the setting, and we talked about the feelings that were in this book. So who are our characters? Who can remember? There were three little pigs, good, and a big bad wolf. So we had four characters, three pigs and a big bad wolf. Now the three little pigs, they built houses. Who can remember what kind of houses they built? Well, the first little pig built his house out of straw. That's right. And the second little pig built his house out of sticks. And the third little pig, he was the smartest little pig. What did he build his house out of? Do you remember? He built his house out of bricks. That's right. And the big bad wolf came in. He huffed and he puffed and he tried to blow their houses down. But what happened? He blew down the straw house and he blew down the stick house. But did he blow down the brick house? No, he didn't. The pigs got safely to the brick house and they lit a fire in the fireplace, and the big bad wolf came down and burned his tail and ran away, and the three little pigs sang and danced. So that's what happened in this story. Excuse me. And I told you that I found some other different books of the three little pigs. So today we're going to read this book, and we're going to see if we can figure out what's the same and what's different from the two stories. Are you ready? So this one is still called The Three Little Pigs, but it's a little bit different from the one we read in our small groups. Okay, so let's read this one together, and then let's see if we can talk about what is the same and what is different. Okay, so Three Little Pigs. See them right there? Three little pigs left home one day. They packed their bags and went on their way. Mother Pig said, "Goodbye, bye-bye." But a wolf saw them go and thought, pork pie. So there's already one difference. In this story, it talks about their mom saying goodbye to them, and we didn't read that in the last story. Okay, the next page says, the first little pig met a man selling straw. This will make a good house, I know it for sure. He paid for the straw and stacked it up high. But the wolf licked his lips, thinking, stir fry. So in our last book, we didn't talk about him meeting a guy that sells straw. And in this book, it's rhyming. They're saying, up high, stacked it up high, and stir fry. So we have some rhyming, and we also have the wolf watching them build their houses. The second little pig met a man selling wood. I'll build my house with this. It looks quite good. He worked all day and did not stop, but the wolf licked his lips, thinking, pork chops. So the second little pig in our first book, he built his house of sticks. And what did this pig build his house of? He built his house out of wood. So that's a difference. The third little pig met a man selling bricks. These look strong, much better than sticks. He built his house all shiny and new, but the wolf licked his lips, thinking, barbecue. When the homes were finished, the piggies three went inside to have some tea. The wolf was feeling hungry too. He licked his lips, thinking, pork stew. So again, the wolf is following the pigs around and thinking about how delicious they would be to eat. So we have some similarities. We still have three pigs that built three different houses, but they did it a little bit differently. Let's keep looking. Said the wolf to Piggy Straw, now let me in. Not by the hair on my chinny chin chin. So the wolf huffed and puffed and the house went wham. Then he licked his lips, shouting, roast ham. That wolf was very hungry. And in our last book, it told us that the wolf was very hungry. But he didn't call the pigs wolf roast ham and barbecue, did he? No. Piggy Straw ran to the house made of wood. The wolf said to the pigs, let me in, I'll be good. The wolf huffed and puffed, and the house went smash. And then he licked his lips, shouting, goulash. Then the two pigs ran to the house made of bricks, where they chased by the wolf, who was not quite as quick. He huffed and he puffed, and the house stayed whole. So the wolf climbed to the roof, shouting, casserole. So he huffed and puffed, and the brick house did not fall down. That's the same as the last book. And it says he climbed up on the roof. So do you think he's going to go down the chimney again? Let's see. The three pigs ran and fetched a pot. Quick, said the piggy's bricks. Let's make it hot. As the hungry wolf jumped down the chimney tower, he landed in the pot, screaming, "Ow! Sweet and sour." So that wolf talks a lot about food, and look, he fell in the pot, just like in our last story. So that's the same. The wolf jumped out and ran far away from the bricks, the wood, and the pile of hay. The lesson of this story is, be careful what you pick. Think before you act. Make your house out of bricks. So the wolf ran away in both stories because he scorched his tail in the pot of hot water. But the pigs didn't sing in this book, but the pigs did sing in this book. So did you guys see some things that were similar and things that were different? Yeah, so a lot of the story was the same, but a little bit of it was different too. Okay, should we look at some pictures together? Let's open this book up. And if we remember, hold on, page 9, 10. Okay, so look at here. You see the three pigs out making their house of straw. We just read that happened. And then here we have a house being made of sticks and a house being made of bricks. But what happens if we look in this book? The guy that built his stick house is building it out of wood in this book. Do you see that? But we still have a pig that builds his house of bricks. So those are the same. And remember, the wolf still comes to their houses and they still run away to each other's houses. And he huffs and he puffs and he blows the straw house down and the stick house down, just like in this book where he huffs and he puffs. In this book, he said, the wolf went to Piggy Straw. That's what he called this pig. But in this one, it just says he huffed and he puffed at the first little pig's door, right? And he said, little pig, let me in. But in this book, he just said, now let me in. So it's a little bit different, okay? Do you guys understand how the story just changes just a little bit? Well, tomorrow we're going to read another book about the three little pigs, but it's going to be even more different. And you've got to think really hard in your head and think, okay, were the characters the same? Well, in these two books, the characters were the same. We had three pigs and one big bad wolf. So they were the same. Okay, how about the setting? Was the setting the same? Yeah, it was. We had all of them were outside, right? They were all building their houses and the wolf huffed and puffed. So that was the same. What about the takeoff? That's something that Miss Sarah talked to us about. The takeoff. That's where something happens in the story. What happened in the story? Well, the wolf huffed and puffed at all three houses. That was the same in both books. But did he say the same things? No, it was a little different, huh? So the books were the same and the books were different. Now, how about the ending? We talked about the wrap-up. That is the end of the book. How did the story end? In both books, the wolf got his tail scorched in hot water. And in both books, he ran away. But in this book, the piggies sang and danced and lived happily ever after. And in this book, they didn't. That was it. It just ended, right? Let's see, what did it say on the last page? You help me remember. It said, the moral of the story or the lesson learned is to be careful what you pick and build your house of bricks, right? Kind of interesting, isn't it, to think about the same story being told in different ways. Okay, let's read again tomorrow and see if we can find another version of the Three Little Pigs and how it's the same and how it's different. Bye, guys.